I love to write, but I can't very well anymore because of Parkinson's. The assassins hired by Yoko Ono, who through poison and plumbing tortured me, have given me Parkinson's. Their goal is to have the tape self-destruct. How this was allowed to happen is mysterious, but the wallpaper used by the assassins is folklore. A Shulman book from the city of Pittsburgh, to which city of Seattle subscribes. Lyndon Johnson had a very stupid thing he said about waiving J. Edgar Hoover's mandatory retirement age. Said, I'd rather he was on the inside of the tent pissing out than outside the tent pissing in. Wasn't a very presidential thing to say. It was pretty stupid. Maybe it was a presidential thing to say because it was pretty stupid. But a similar adage would hold true when we talk about human denigration. The way the NAACP in Pittsburgh see it, if there's going to be a man-eating tiger, we're going to feed it someone else. The mentality that went into what McCartney pulled in Pittsburgh, because believe me, it was encrypted as Yoko Ono's revenge back in the 70s. They used John Lennon to give a medium of empowerment to her revenge, to give it an excuse, to lubricate it. The idea was espoused by Magna Cum of Harvard. Said the peasants in Russia despised the Tsar's family because the child, the boy, was consumptive. It made the peasants spurn them and hate them. Little Jimmy Queebait, they called me. An Army-Navy game. War game. They said I should have been a child soldier. There's laws against child soldiers. It said I could trust the Zionists. They said that John Lennon was my hero. When they battered me blindside, they said I was a pussy. Just as Magna Cum sneered. So we know they singled me out and had a bonfire of ideas going. Black Panthers contributed, let's have a barbecue. And meanwhile, nobody warned anybody about what was going on. They tried to play down the evidence for premeditation in the Dracula attack. Today, I found some very interesting leads. Foremost, Randall Collins. He's being played by the Pittsburghers and their Viper King Crimson. They're trying to make it look like I used Flippy Tune for cultural capital after he contacted me, when in reality, I was trying to differentiate myself from assassins. And guess what? I actually tried to defend John Lennon. The joke was on me. because the assassins believed that was my proper station, not defending JFK, who John Lennon helped kill before he pulled his astonishing Houdini, which was planned from the days of Sergei Eisenstein and Walt Disney. The Italian futurists came up with the idea of a real-world fake murder for fourth-dimensional psychology. And that brings us to Randall Collins, who lived in World War II's Germany in 1946 and then moved to Moscow and then came to pontificate about the student free speech movement, collaborating with Zionists on the Burson script. We heard, as we were crying over our grandmother's eviction by COVID, of crying cafes opening up in Tokyo. The attackers had to swallow, they call them in CIA jargon, MI6 jargon. It means attack prostitute, La Femme Nikita, who said, "I have discovered to cry." Randall Collins, the first three people he cites as chapters in his book about charismatics, powerful charismatics, are Jesus, Lawrence of Arabia, and Joan of Arc, who he cites as having a unique gift of going into churches and weeping and wailing, leading the whole throng to weep and wail, as though she has discovered the miracle of crying. They're selling us this Taliban because they prescribed genocide. We've lived through 3 of them now: AIDS, COVID, and Gaza. And guess who is the defense minister for Netanyahu about AIDS? Well, you can guess. It's a whole smorgasbord of sandbaggers who Paul McCartney pulled up out of his magic rabbit hat with Terry Visco and the Carrot Tape of Jaime Carbonell, Owen Jones, you name it. And they are lying. They pee with forked prawn. They pee with forked prawn.